So I've got a serious question for you. Do you want to be able to achieve financial freedom? Do you want to be able to have the amount of wealth for you to be able to live the life that you really want and to be able to live that life, not actually being able to work, but living off your passive income, living off your investments? And do you know how to be able to go where your business is at from today to what your business has to do for you to achieve that financial wealth, for you to achieve the financial freedom? And I know, this is a big promise, but that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this episode. I'm going to run you through the exact system that I use with my members to go through the actual financial projections, to go through what their business has to be doing on a day-to-day level so that really, at the end of the day, you know that you're going to be able to achieve financial freedom for where it is that you want to be able to achieve. As let's be perfectly honest, you could be really busy right now. You could be doing everything right. You've got tons of business coaches, tons of gurus telling you all the different things that you need to be doing to be able to grow your business. Now, this is going to work for you today, whether you're starting from scratch or whether you've been doing this and running your businesses for years and you haven't yet achieved your financial freedom. The whole intention right now, what I want to do for you is I want you to be able to have an aha moment that goes, oh my God, I can actually do this. I can achieve financial freedom and I have a plan to be able to make that happen. So if that's cool with you, then I'd love to be able to take you through this system that we use with our members. Right here, this is the actual document that I use very early on when working with our top tier clients. And the whole idea of this is we're going to go through this together, you and me through this, and I'm going to give you an exact example so that you can see. And this is actually an example that I just had with a client just moments ago, and I jumped off and I go, you know what? I want to share this with you right now. So if you're cool with that, let's actually go through this example, and obviously you'll be able to tweak the numbers to make sure it's exactly what it is for you as well. So the first step as we look into this is financial freedom. And there's two numbers that we need to be able to look at. What is your current age right now? And what is the age that you want to be able to have financial freedom? Okay, so with this client, the client was 32 years old and they wanted to achieve financial freedom at 38. So they've got 6 years in between this gap to be able to invest in. Okay, is that cool? Cool. Second step, how much to achieve financial freedom? What's the actual number? So after working with tons of really smart people, we've been able to put together the formulation. So let's just say, for example, we look at the annual financial freedom figure. Now, this is the number that you want to live off, okay? So you living the life that you want to live, and this is where you need to be able to maybe pause the video or actually figure it out and come back to this. But how much money does it cost for you to live the life that you really want? With this client, they said $250,000. If they had $250,000 dropping into their bank account every single year, they would be able to live a fantastic life. So next step is fantastic. We then have the calculation of if $250,000 is your financial freedom figure, then you need $5 million in invested assets, okay? So we'll just see here for a second. We'll just like tweak this number. Let's just say, for example, we change it to $300,000, okay? You'll see the numbers because this document that I've got made up with some super smart people, some wizards that actually know how to do this stuff, but then you can see the number changes to $6 million. So if you wanted $300,000 a year to live off, you'll see the invested assets target is $6 million. Now, let's just change this back to $250,000 a year, and you'll see it drops to $5 million a year in invested targets. Now, let's go into step number 3. Step number 3 is going to be a case of where is your business at right now? So I'm going to go through the example of where this client was at, and you'll be able to kind of like join the dots really easily for yourself as well, because obviously I can't be doing this live training session for you right now because this isn't a live training session. So I want to give you the real life example. So existing revenue right now per month. So this current client was at $46,000 per month top line revenue. Now, there's a couple of numbers. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty, otherwise this video and this training could go for really long, but I'm just going to go through the basics of this. Next is we're going to look at the total sales targets, okay? So the total sales is going to be 867, but the next important number is how many clients does this client, okay, let's just call it Tony, just namesake. Tony is the example that we just went through right now. Tony needs 231 new clients for him to be able to achieve the goal of where he wants to go. And you'll see this as we kind of break this down, okay? But let's just say, for example, okay, over the next 12 months, you need 231 new clients to sign on board. Now, this also puts into existing churn rate, so annual churn rate. How many clients do you lose on an annual basis? For Tony, it was 30% annual churn rate going through. Next key number to know is how much do they pay you per month? So what is the actual value of a client per month to you? For Tony, it was $400 a month. So his clients are paying him on average $400 per month over all the different programs that he's being able to sell. And the next number is profit percentage. Now, a lot of coaches don't know this, so if this feels like it's going a little bit too much over the head, perfectly fine, chill out, it's all good. But the next number is profit percentage. What's the profit percentage that you're actually running your business at? And with coaching businesses, they run it pretty high. Profit percentages with Tony's, it's at 75%, okay? So super simple, there's just a couple of numbers that we've had to plug into this. The next steps are where we really start hitting the ground running. So the next one is step number 4. What are your sales targets to achieve your financial freedom? So we don't have to input any numbers. This is just telling us what actually has to happen in the next year so that we're able to get his business to create the financial freedom for him in that 6-year plan that we did in step number 1 and 2. And that is annual profit target. His business needs to have an annual profit target of $833,000 a year. His annual revenue target, because we know the profit percentage he's running off, is $1.11 million a year. We know monthly revenue targets. We know each month his business needs to be doing $92,593. Now, remember, his business is currently doing $46,000 a month, but we need to get him up to $92,000 a month. The rest of the numbers that we can look at is monthly sales target. So this is really important. This is where we really get the rubber meeting the road for you right now. This is where it becomes highly practical. For Tony, we know he needs to be signing on 19 clients per month. Now, in the next step, I'm going to jump across because this is going to make sense for you. In the next step, number 5, we look at your actual sales pipeline, okay? So the way that Tony's signing clients on is getting people onto a call, onto a conversation. They're having a conversation and he signs the client on board, okay? It's going to be a 2-step close process. So he has a quick, what we call triage conversation, 10 to 15 minute chat. Can I actually help this person? Do I have what it is they're looking for? Then they go into a second conversation, we call a strategy call, actually planning everything together and then getting them signed on board into the program. Now, you can see here, we've actually broken this down. So I'm going to get a little bit more technical. So if this sounds a little bit gobbledygook or Cantonese, stick with me. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to bring this back and land this plane for you. So applications. So this is how many people apply to have a call with him, okay? We know over the next 12 months, he needs 591 people to have an applied conversation with him. Now, we know 70%, these are real numbers in his business, 70% of the people that go from the applied are actually going to show up to have that first conversation, which means over the next year, he's going to have, or he's going to need to have 413 triage conversations. 70% of the people that have a triage conversation move on to a strategy call, which means in 12 months, he's going to have 289 sales calls, closing calls, strategy calls, whatever you want to call them. 80% of the people that get to him. Tony's really confident. When someone gets in front of him, and actually true, when someone actually gets to a call, he's closing 80% of them, which is fantastic. Which means out of 289 strategy calls, he's going to sign 231 clients. Now remember, if we scroll back up here, what did we say? We said new clients needed, annual goal to cover churn and growth is 231. Yes, so this is actually matching. We have all of this meshing together. So this is the real numbers for the business and what the business needs to do. So you can see here, for example, let's say a show rate is 60%. If we change that, you'll see what actually happens is that what we're going to look at is the other numbers need to change. So we actually need 689 applications for him to go through, rather than if it's 70%, it's 591. So all the yellows are the things that we change as to what's happening. So every single month, we can jump back into this document and change as to what's happening. But there's one more step I want you to stick with me through. This next step is what is your next 12-month money map. So you'll see here, let's say it's January 22. We look at the next 12 months. So knowing if the sales pipeline sticks to exactly what we've gone through, he starts with January on 2022 with, let's call it $45,000 a month. If he's able to have 61 applications, 72 triage calls, 24 sales calls, and he signs on 19 clients, that means every month he's signing an extra $7,716 of monthly recurring revenue, which means you can see his income goes from 45,000 to 50, 57, and then when it comes to December, he's now earning $107 or over $107,000 per month from where we started at $45,000 per month, which is the exact goal. And if he continues to do that all the way along and we come back up to the top, we know he is going to achieve his financial freedom figure in 6 years or less. Now, I totally understand that this was a lot for us to be able to cover. There was a lot of numbers for us to be able to cover in such a short period of time. But the whole entire point of me wanting to share this with you is there is a system. This is a simple process for us to be able to break down what is it that you need to do, what is it that your business needs to do so that you can actually achieve financial freedom. Because if we just pause and take a kind of a sidestep right now and look at the actual situation that you're in. You are building a business because you want to be able to achieve things. Typically, it's going to be you want to achieve your money goals and you want to be able to love the work that you're doing and you want to be able to have impact and meaning from the work that you're doing as well. Now, does this document show us the meaning that you have from your work? No, it does not do that. This document is purely about the actual numbers, about the money, about the finances. And the whole point is in under 15 minutes, we can take a coach through the process of figuring out what does your business need to be doing so that you can actually achieve financial freedom. Because I just don't see many people, if any, business coaches out there talking about this stuff. And if not, if they may be talking about it, but where's the actual system that they're using? And this is the system that we're using because Tony started the conversation being like, hey dude, I want to achieve financial freedom, but I have no idea actually how to make that happen. Can you help? And in under 15 minutes that we've been able to do now, we've been able to go through a process where Tony knows, and we come back to this, Tony knows that he needs to just be able to focus on the number one thing he focuses on every single morning when he wakes up is he getting the target number of applications coming through? Is the ads that he's running? Is the actual content that he's doing? Is all the things that he's actually working on driving to these numbers? Because there's just a couple of questions he needs to be able to answer. And these are the questions I want you to be able to answer. And that is, number one, are you doing what's needed to get the applications that you need? So all of the marketing, all of the acquisition, is it actually producing the amount of applications that you need to hit? That's step number one. Step number two, is your sales pipeline staying true to your targets? So for here, we know that we need 70% of people show up to a call, 70% of people go from triage to a strategy, and then 80% of the people then actually go on a strategy to signing on board. Does that stay true? Because if it doesn't, then we need to fix the system. And if it does, fantastic. We continue to let that machine do what the machines do, and that's operate day to day to day to day. Then it's simply going to be a case of a third practical step, and that comes to churn. Are you actually keeping your clients on board as well? Because I'll be perfectly honest, one of the easiest ways to double your business, and I'll say this slowly, one of the easiest ways to double your business is to halve the amount of clients that you lose. I'll say it one more time. The easiest way for you to double your business is to halve the amount of clients that you lose. So if we know, number one, that we have the marketing machine to bring in the leads for you, if we know, number two, that your sales systems are staying true to the numbers that we've set and you're signing those clients on, and then number three, if you're keeping your clients on board, you're keeping them happy, you're getting them results, then the main functioning engines of your business, attracting in leads, converting those leads to clients, and delivering great results means that we actually have a practical step-by-step numbers I can point to whether you're achieving it or you're not. plan for success. So I hope this is really helpful for you. I've wanted to be able to put this into a nutshell because I want you to go, yes, Chris, I can do this. I can be able to set that up. There's 3 engines that you need to be able to build. The numbers that we've gone through to make sure that you can do this as well. So I hope this has been helpful. If you enjoyed this episode, please click like. I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss the other trainings that I've got coming for you as well. And if we've gone through a couple of things maybe too quickly, if there's deeper questions that you want to peel apart from this, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to come back to you, and I'd love to be able to actually produce the next episodes going deeper into the topics that you want to be able to go into as well. So I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.